I thought losing my inheritance was the worst thing that could happen. Until I opened one folder my brother never wanted me to see. Suddenly, I realized why my parents left me nothing. And why my brother would do anything to keep the truth buried. What I discovered that night changed everything forever. I never thought my own family would betray me. I never thought blood could turn so cold. But the truth is, when it comes to money, property, and inheritance, family ties mean nothing. I found that out the hard way. It all started after my father passed away. My mom was devastated, of course, and I tried to be there for her as much as possible. But even in my grief, I noticed something strange. She leaned on my older brother, Daniel, way more than she did on me. At first, I didn't think much of it. He was the responsible one, the golden child who could do no wrong in their eyes. I was used to being the shadow, the one who always had to fight for attention. But what happened next still tore my world apart. Weeks after Dad's funeral, my mom called for a family meeting. Daniel and I sat across from her at the dining room table. The air was heavy, like the house itself knew something big was about to happen. She cleared her throat and slid a thick envelope across the table. "This is your father's will," she said, her hands trembling. My heart sank. I didn't know why, but I had a bad feeling. Daniel opened it, his eyes scanning the words. A slow, smug smile spread across his face. He looked at me, then back at Mom and said, "Well, I guess I got everything." I froze. "What do you mean, everything?" Mom looked down, ashamed. "Your father left the house, the savings account, the business, all of it, to Daniel." Her words pierced me like a knife. My father had erased me from his legacy, as if I didn't exist. I pushed my chair back. "What about me? I'm his child too. Why would he do this?" Daniel shrugged, that arrogant look plastered across his face. "Maybe because I actually earned it. You've always been a bit of a disappointment." Those words burned more than anything. I stormed out, but the rage inside me kept building. It wasn't just about money, it was about the betrayal, about being discarded like trash by the people who were supposed to love me unconditionally. For weeks, I spiraled. Every time I saw Daniel driving Dad's old car or making decisions about the family business, my chest tightened. That should have been mine too. Or at least, shared. Then, I discovered something. One night, I was cleaning out some of Dad's old files from the attic. Most of it was junk. Old receipts, contracts, yellowed letters. But then I found a locked folder hidden inside a box marked private. It took me hours to figure out the code, but when I finally opened it, my hands shook. Inside were documents, contracts, signed papers, and even a hidden bank account statement. And what I saw made my blood run cold. My father had been hiding money. A lot of money. Money that wasn't mentioned anywhere in the will. And even worse, some of those documents hinted at illegal deals, things Daniel had helped him with in the past. That was the moment everything changed. I realized I had power. For once in my life, I held something Daniel didn't, something that could destroy him. But it wasn't just about revenge. No, this was about justice. If my family thought they could erase me from Dad's legacy, they were wrong. Dead wrong. The next morning, I confronted Mom. I held the folder in my hands and slammed it on the kitchen counter. "What's this?" I demanded. Her face went pale. She reached for it, but I pulled it back. "Don't. Answer me first." Her lips trembled. "You weren't supposed to find that." "Why?" I snapped. "Because it proves Dad wasn't some perfect saint? Or because it proves Daniel's not the angel you think he is?" She shook her head. "You don't understand." "No, Mom," I cut her off. "I understand perfectly. Dad left me with nothing. You sided with Daniel, but this—" I raised the folder. "This changes everything." She begged me not to use it, but I couldn't stop the fire inside me. For the first time in my life, I had control. And I knew exactly what I was going to do. The following days, I studied every document. I pieced together a puzzle of corruption, shady deals, and hidden wealth. My brother had been working with Dad to cover it all up. I confronted Daniel next. He was in the living room, feet kicked up on the coffee table, acting like he owned the world. When I dropped the folder in front of him, his smug smile faltered. "What's this supposed to be?" he asked, trying to sound confident. "You tell me," I said coldly. He flipped through the papers, and I saw panic flash in his eyes. "Where did you get this?" "Doesn't matter. What matters is, I finally know the truth." He stood up, towering over me. "You don't know what you're getting yourself into." "Oh, I think I do," I shot back. "You and Dad screwed me over. You took everything from me. But guess what, Daniel? This folder, it can take everything from you." His jaw tightened. "If you go public with this, you'll ruin the family name. Is that what you want? To destroy everything Dad built?" I glared at him. He destroyed me first. That night, I couldn't sleep. The folder sat on my desk, taunting me. Part of me wanted to march into the police station and hand it over. Another part wanted to leak it online, let the world see what kind of fraud my brother really was. But there was another voice, quieter, darker, telling me I could use this, not just to ruin Daniel, but to finally take what I deserved. Revenge wasn't enough. I wanted power. So I came up with a plan. The next morning, I walked into the family business. Employees who had once ignored me now stared as I entered Dad's old office. Daniel was inside, already barking orders over the phone. I closed the door behind me and dropped the folder on his desk. "We're going to make a deal," I said. He raised an eyebrow. "What kind of deal?" "The kind where I don't destroy you, but in return, I get my share. Of everything." For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. He knew I wasn't bluffing. And that's when it hit me. Maybe being left out of the will was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because now I wasn't just fighting for scraps. I was about to take it all. When I left Daniel's office that morning, I thought I'd won. For the first time in my life, I had leverage over him. For the first time, he wasn't untouchable. But power is dangerous. It can twist people. And as I was about to learn, it can twist you too. At first, things went smoothly. Daniel stopped flaunting his control over the family business. Mom treated me with a newfound caution, as if she was afraid of what I might do. Employees whispered about me in the halls, no longer the forgotten sibling, but the one who could bring down the golden child. But beneath that surface, something darker was brewing. One night, as I walked to my car after leaving the office, I noticed my tires slashed. My heart pounded. I knew immediately who had done it. The next day, Daniel cornered me. "You think you're smart," he hissed, "but blackmail has consequences." I stared him down. "So does betrayal." He smirked, but there was no confidence in his eyes this time. Just anger. "If you expose me, you'll go down too. Don't forget, you're part of this family. People will assume you knew." His words hit me like a punch. He was right. If I leaked those documents, the stain wouldn't just fall on him. It would cover Mom, me, the whole family name. For the first time, I wondered if I had gone too far. But fate didn't give me time to reconsider. 2 weeks later, Mom invited me and Daniel to dinner. She claimed she wanted to make peace. I almost didn't go, but curiosity got the better of me. When I arrived, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Mom sat at the head of the table, Daniel across from me. We ate in silence until she finally spoke. "Enough is enough," she said firmly. "This fighting will destroy us. I want the two of you to agree on something tonight. No more threats, no more secrets." I looked at her, then at Daniel. He was smirking again, like he knew something I didn't. "What do you suggest?" I asked cautiously. Mom slid a document across the table. "A contract. Daniel has agreed to give you a portion of the inheritance. Enough to be fair. But in exchange, you destroy the folder." My blood boiled. "So this is it? You buy me off and Daniel gets away with everything?" Daniel leaned forward, his voice dripping with arrogance. "Face it, you were never meant to have any of this. Take the deal or lose everything." I clenched my fists. My mind screamed at me to walk away, but something deeper, something primal, refused. "No," I said coldly. "If I burn, Daniel burns with me." Mom gasped, tears filling her eyes. "Please don't do this." But I had already made up my mind. The days that followed were chaos. Daniel launched a smear campaign against me. Suddenly, Anonymous tips about my behavior began circulating at the office. People whispered that I was unstable, dangerous, even violent. One morning, I arrived to find my office locked, my nameplate removed. Daniel had fired me without even telling me. I stormed into his office. "You can't just erase me," I shouted. He leaned back in his chair, completely calm. "Funny, that's exactly what Dad did to you. Guess it runs in the family." I slammed the folder on his desk again. "This isn't over. I'll go to the police." For the first time, Daniel didn't flinch. He just smiled. "Go ahead, but remember, if you go down this road, you're taking Mom with you. Those documents don't just incriminate me, they incriminate Dad. Our family's name, his legacy, everything." My throat went dry. He had me cornered. If I exposed him, I'd destroy Mom too. And I couldn't do that. But the universe has a way of making decisions for you. A week later, I received a phone call that changed everything. It was from a blocked number. A deep, unfamiliar voice said, "We know what you found. If you don't hand it over, your family won't be the only ones who pay." My stomach dropped. This wasn't Daniel. This was bigger. That night, someone broke into my apartment. The folder was stolen. I panicked, thinking Daniel had finally beaten me. But when I confronted him, he looked just as shocked. "What are you talking about? I don't have it," he shouted. That's when I realized the secrets in that folder weren't just dangerous to us. They involved other people. Dangerous people. And now those people knew I had seen them. Suddenly, my war with Daniel seemed childish compared to what was coming. We were in danger. I tried to warn Mom, but she refused to listen. She was too busy trying to pretend everything was normal, as if ignoring the cracks in our family would somehow fix them. But the threats kept coming. Anonymous letters, strange cars parked outside my apartment, whispers in the dark. One night, Daniel showed up at my door, pale and shaking. "We need to talk," he said. I let him in reluctantly. "They're after me too," he admitted. "Whoever Dad was dealing with, they want us silenced." I stared at him, realization dawning. For the first time, Daniel wasn't my enemy. He was my only ally. "We have to stick together," I whispered. He nodded, fear flickering in his eyes. "Or we won't survive this." From that moment, everything changed. The folder was gone, but its shadow loomed over us. Daniel and I began working together, piecing together what Dad had been hiding. We discovered offshore accounts, shell companies, and names of people you don't cross. And we realized something terrifying. Dad hadn't left everything to Daniel because he loved him more. He'd left it to him because he wanted someone strong enough to keep his secrets buried. Daniel wasn't the chosen one. He was the shield. And I had just ripped that shield away. The final straw came when Mom disappeared. One morning, I called her and got no answer. By nightfall, her car was still in the driveway, her phone left behind. Daniel and I searched everywhere, but there was no trace. Just a single note left on the kitchen table. "Stay quiet, or she won't come back." I collapsed into a chair, my hands trembling. This had gone too far. Daniel looked at me, his face pale. "What do we do now?" I swallowed hard. We finish what Dad started. We find out who's behind this, and we take them down. But deep down, I knew the truth. I had started this war. By digging into that folder, by refusing to let go of my anger, I had unleashed something far bigger than myself. And now, my family's survival depended on the very brother I had once sworn to destroy. For the first time, Daniel and I weren't enemies. We were allies. But in a game like this, there are no winners, only survivors. And I wasn't sure how long we'd last.